Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
What's up? This is El Presidente.
Oh, this is your boy, gospel icon, my Harold Peoples Jr.
What's going on, y'all? My name is Gypsy.
It's Lady, also known as Leah, and you're now watching.
And you're listening to Speaking Plain
And
English.
the Speaking Plain English with your
Now watching Speaking Plain English. Your host Roberta.
On
Your beautiful host, Roberta Johnson.
With my homegirl, Roberta, on Praise.fm.
On Praise FM.
on Praise FM.
Hello. Well, let's start over. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Speaking Plain English. Happy Saturday to you. I am your host, Roberta, and I am looking forward to, I want to welcome, let me start with that. I want to welcome everyone who is joining us. I'm going to ask that you do all the media stuff, the liking and the subscribing and the sharing and all of those things that, we usually ask you to do, because like I say this often, you never know who it is that may be watching that I'm not connected to, that you may be connected to, that may be able to get some use or benefit or may, be blessed by or need what it is that is being shared here today. So, or on every episode. Hey, mama. So, yes. So we ask you to do all those things, the liking and the subscribing and the sharing and whatnot. Welcome to our YouTube. Welcome to Facebook. Welcome to Praise FM. Welcome to Instagram. Welcome to all the audio only listeners. Welcome to everyone who is watching. Whether you're here by, what is it called? Either if you're here now, if you're present, say hello. So I can say hello back. And also, if you are watching the replay, feel free to also say hello through that way as well. I am going to say this. If you are watching through Instagram, more than likely, I probably will not be able to catch your hi Gwen, good morning or afternoon. Sorry, it's good afternoon. Thank you for watching. If you're on Instagram, I'm not sure. I just recognized recently that if you're live on Instagram and you want to go into their stories and are unable to do so, you're not able to do that until the live is over. But if you want to, if you are on Instagram, if you're watching via Instagram and you would like your comment to be seen, because sometimes I forget to go back and forth between Instagram and because I'm using StreamYard. Shout out to StreamYard. I forget to go back and forth between there. All of the rest of like YouTube and Facebook's comments come directly through StreamYard, but they haven't figured out how to do that use that with Instagram yet. So I have to kind of toggle back and forth between the tabs, and I forget. You know what I mean? In the midst of conversation, I forget sometimes. So if you would like to leave comments and things, I would ask that you either go to my Facebook page or which is either one of my name, Roberta's Recommendations, or you can even go to the Praise FM page, or you can look up Speaking Plain English on YouTube and find me there. Hi again, mama. So you on both spots. So yeah, guys. So I just want to again take the time to thank everybody who has been here, who's watching, and we are going to jump into today's episode. So I'm going to tell you a little story. It's today's episode. Basically, we're going to talk about when time ends, and that is going to be in regards to lots of different things. So this is what I'm going to start with. I have been contemplating on, a topic for today for a minute now, basically because I had last week. Well, I'm not going to do all that, but there are just some things that I do want to discuss on Speaking Plain English. But I do not have. I need the right personnel to actually come on and to discuss those things with me. So there are things that I will not discuss, and I did not plan to discuss until I had the appropriate like expert guests and things like that. So I was trying to figure out something for this week. I'm sorry. I did not do shout outs or anything like that. I wanted to, anybody who had a birthday this week, I have not written anything down. This week has just been kind of crazy. So I haven't written anything down. So if you've had a birthday this week, happy Earth Entry anniversary to you. Well, the past couple of weeks, because I wasn't on last week either. I had some stuff going on, and I wasn't able to make it on, and I didn't realize that until last minute. But so if you had a birthday between last week and this week, happy Earth Entry anniversary to you. If you had an anniversary or the start of a business or anything like that, congratulations to you as well. I do want to, so I do want to kind of like make a couple of announcements, and I'm soliciting, your prayers for myself and my family, both the Cooper and the Johnson side, basically my parents' side, both sides. 2 weeks ago, I think it's been 2 weeks, maybe more, we were informed of passing of my mother, one of my mother's sisters, Joan Cooper McCoy. So it was a shock to us. This is not something anybody was expecting. So it was, that was hard, and it is still pretty difficult. So keep us in your prayers in regards to that. And then the following week, which was last Sunday, we got news of the passing of one of my cousins, Corey Johnson. So who lived in Maine. So he was young. I don't remember how much. I know he was a little older than me, but not very much. So we are kind of like, we're mourning. Like I've been saying, for the past few weeks, like there has been a lot of deaths going on. There has been a lot all around. And I'm sorry, my son is trying to get my attention, and anyway, there has been like a lot of deaths going on all around for the past few months. I know, like my sister, one of my sisters said that it seems like 2020 all over again. And I had been, thanking God and been grateful, and just been saying how a lot of them that have been announced, some of them I knew of, but none of them I actually knew personally, So to see all of that happening, and I was always saying that that we do want to keep those who are hurting in prayer, and any whether they had experience a loss, whether a family member, friend, someone close, a loved one, or there's lots of heartbreak. I've been praying for those who have been experiencing heartbreak for whatever reasons, because there's lots of different reasons why there's lots of losses that can occur and have occurred. Hey, Lady Rain, good morning, afternoon. It's morning over there where you are, but it's afternoon here. But there's been a lot of announcements, and it's kind of difficult to kind of see how all of these flyers and things that have been posted on social media, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or whatever. And yeah, we're in a different time zone. But all of these posts and things, and it's crazy how it's the very, as soon as you see it, no matter, and I'm recognizing now that yes, there are some whose graphics are kind of not done in a way where I would love, it. Well, anyway, some graphics sometimes you can tell, that it's because they are, someone has passed, and because of the wings and the gate and the pearly gates and stuff like that, and the the pictures in the sky and all that stuff. But then there are some that are, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much they are not, it's just as soon as you see a flyer, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Oh God, please don't tell me this one. Like every flyer that I have seen recently, including the ones that I posted, ones that I posted for, like I was not reluctant, but I was like, if y'all catch my drift, because I don't want to say it, but anyway, it can be very, very triggering to see how many people have just gone, so that regardless of what the celebration is, whether they're having a happy birthday, we're saying happy birthday, whether they are celebrating an elevation, whether they are announcing a business, whatever it is, if you see somebody's face on a flyer, it's triggering. And I mean, if maybe it's just me, but that's just how, how I feel. So it's kind of hard to see those things. But I was going somewhere with this and I totally forgot. But anyway, yeah. So basically, I was just going to say to just remember us all in your prayers, please, because it's been a very heavy couple of weeks. It's been a very heavy couple of weeks. We thank God anyway. Like one of the things that I've been saying is that's where I was going. I was going to where I kept saying over and over again that we're praying for those who are experiencing heartbreak in whatever way. Some people are losing businesses. Some people are, I don't want to say losing their minds, but, that is the case. And some people are, are losing. There's a lot of loss that's been happening lately. And we want to make sure, we want to keep those people, in mind, and we want to pray for those. And I'm reluctant to say keep them. I know I'm not saying reluctant, but I have been saying keeping those, in your prayers. However, I thought about something very recently, within the past couple of days, though. I don't want to say that anymore. I don't want to say keep us in your prayers. You know what I mean? Because to say that is to say that God forgot the first time. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. If somebody comes to you and is asking you to give them or to remember even an event, right? And we're going to get into the topic in a minute. If you ask somebody about, hey, are you coming to this event? Or I'm having this event. I'm doing something. Remember to come. This is when it is, and remember to come. And then you're like, okay, got it. And then maybe the next day they say it again. Hey, I'm having this. You know what I'm saying? Same type of thing. So it's not like, if just like how it would be annoying. And I'm not saying that God is annoyed by it, but I'm just saying, if you have already prayed, if you are praying, if you have prayed and you believe what you've prayed, then leave it there. I'll say leave it there. If anything, thank God, ask God, if do it the first time, thank God and ask God to, to strengthen and to comfort and to bring peace and all of those wonderful, all those things. Ask that one time. Because God, first of all, God already knew, he knew what was going to be happening and what would have happened and what has been happening. He knows already. So the next step is just to, to thank him for it. So that's what I am I'm learning to do. I'm learning to do is to, I have already asked God to send comfort and peace and peace of mind and clarity, and to bring strength and all of those things to all those who are experiencing hardship of any kind. um, Give direction and all that stuff. I've done that, and I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to allow God to do what He does, and I'm going to thank Him in advance and look for look for ways, look for the manifestation of it, and two, listen and look for ways, if possible, that I can be of assistance. If not, then there is nothing. But if there is anything that God wants me to do, then I'll ask that. All right. So that kind of went off topic for a minute. But yeah, our topic today is discussing like things like this, like when time ends. And that goes for like I said, a lot of things. That goes for when the time ends for a person, when the time ends for like a business, a time ends for a relationship, a time ends for even a ministry. Like whatever it is that the time is ending for, you'll know, and it's kind of hard to it's kind of difficult to explain, when that time is up. But there's something that happens, and there's something like there's a difference between struggling when it comes to like trying to figure out what to do next, or trying to figure out what makes, what the next move is, and then getting nothing. There's a complete difference. I'm going to share a story with you guys. And I was actually starting this in the beginning, but my mind sometimes goes in different places. While I was trying to figure out, like I said, the topic for this week, that was something that came to mind just, was it last night? I think it was last night. That was the topic that, like it wasn't this wording. There was another phrasing that came to mind, and it stuck with me for a while, and it left, and I never got it back. But this is the closest thing to it that I was able to remember. So I'm like, okay, I was racking my brain trying to remember exactly what the phrasing was that I was going to use as the topic. And I'm thinking, well, maybe that's not what it's supposed to be. But then it just, it was just so strong. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to just use this one then. So this morning, my son, I wake up, and my son is laying right next to, as usual. Like he does this. He go be in his bed, and by the time the morning comes, he's in mine. So he asked me if I want to watch a movie with him in the morning. And I'm like, all right. So we go, and he chooses a movie. I love Marvel, and he loves Marvel too. So he chooses the Avengers Endgame. And I'm like, in the middle of the movie, I just find it very interesting that that's the movie that he chose. But it just hit me like in the middle of it. I'm like, okay, so maybe this is confirmation for me. Like this is what we're talking about today. And then there was a part at the end that I'll probably share later on that was said about things ending. And what I want to submit to you all is that when things end, yeah, it can be tough. It can be very, very tough, especially if you put a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of hard, your, like they say, blood, sweat, and tears. If you've maneuvered life to maintain this thing, if you've been through a lot and have held on to it and have done your absolute best and done all that could be done, you know what I mean? And sometimes it can be very, very difficult. It can be very, very difficult. How do I put this? It can be very difficult, especially if it's something that that you enjoyed. If it's something that at one point was helpful to you or helpful to others even, or if it was like it started off well. You know what I mean? If you remember like your purpose for starting off and everything was all well, good and wonderful, you were doing everything that needed to be done. You had the zeal, you had you had all these ideas, you had all of these memories, you have all of these things that would just hot. All of these things that would keep you there, and to allow you to to put all of your time and all of your energy and all of your effort into getting it done, into working on this, and into cultivating this thing. You know what I mean? And you think that this is something that is going to be like a forever thing. Like this is something that's never going to, I can't, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is where I'm going to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right then. I've learned and am learning that there are some times that things are supposed to be, there are purposes for every moment there. And we hear the whole thing about there's different things that are for different seasons and this, that, and the third, right? And sometimes what's hard is if we're in a season that we are thriving in even. And when you recognize that that season is up, it may be hard to let go. It may be hard to it may be difficult to kind of transition. I'll put it like that. Transition into whatever it is that is next, if there is anything else. You know what I'm saying? One thing I'm going to kind of I guess equate this to, because I'm starting to, for a while, I've been seeing death as something different lately. Well, for a while. And I'll just say it like this. At the end of the day, regardless of how we feel about it, regardless of how it happens, regardless of who it is, it's a part of life. It's something that, and that's not, again, I'm talking about like a death of a person, like a physical death, them leaving this earth into wherever they're spending eternity. Even though we may recognize that, and we all know it's inevitable. At the end of the day, we're all leaving one way or another. And we recognize that with our minds, right? We all know that. No, everybody is not going to be here forever. Or nobody is going to be here forever. I'll put it like that. However, it still hurts when it does happen. You know what I mean? It's still hard to accept when it does happen. And for those who die in Christ, they're actually better off than we are. And I remember having I'm trying to remember who I thought about this first with. But I remember specifically thinking about it with one of the people who left here within the past few years, who I really wasn't expecting to go anywhere, honestly. And that is Bishop James Gaylord, who was the bishop and pastor of Kelly's Temple Church of God in Christ. I was never a member there, but that was from what I remember him from when I was younger, like him and my father. He was a very, very close family friend. And he was one of those people who was just loved by everybody, like a lot like my Grammy. But I remember, like, when he left, how hurt I was in regards to that. There were some others that were really, really hurtful, but I don't know, for some reason or another, this one did me a little differently. And I remember how he would always tell the story every time I came to visit, whether it was in the middle of service or whatever. Anytime he found where I was, anytime he saw me coming in, or saw that I was there, whenever he got the mic, he would always make sure to acknowledge my presence, that I was there, and remind everybody and tell everybody, the whole congregation, the story of how he baptized me and my brother. And I mean, there was just so many wonderful things. You know, that's a memory that I will never forget about him, as well as some others. But I remember thinking, and I don't know if his was the first time that I had this thought, or I just, for some reason or another, I remember this, having this thought in regards to him more vividly than anybody else. The thought was that although we do miss him, one thing that we would not want to do, or would not be fair, I'll put it like that, that would not be fair to him, is trying to pray him back. Because I know good and well how, and I think I may have mentioned this before in another episode, we know, like, who would actually want to step into heaven and then come back here? I'd be mad. I would be angry. I would be very upset. So, because I guess that is where the whole phrase of "we loved you, but God loved you best," I guess that may be where it comes from, because we have to think about that. Again, if the person is, died in Christ, we don't want them to like, once they go, we're glad for them. Yes, we miss them. Yes, we are hurt because their presence is missed. Yes, we are, missing. Like I said, we miss them. However, at the end of the day, what love is wanting the best for them, and that basically is the best. Not saying that we want to, like, murder people or anything like that to get them there sooner. However, what we do want is, when it's their time, it's their time. And we are to be happy for them. It's best to be happy for them. Yes, we can. What I've learned and am learning in my therapy sessions is that you can have two seeming of the opposite emotions at the same time. Yes, we can be sad, and yes, we can hurt, and yes, we can miss them, but be happy for them as well. We can miss their presence, miss, being able to spend time and make memories and things with them. But then understand that, okay, it was their time to leave. And we're happy that they are, better off than we are. That goes for so many other things. Where we can, when it comes to anything that is, that is ending. We cherish and we remember and we acknowledge and we still celebrate those times and those experiences that we may have had, the work that was put in, the memories that were made. We cherish those things in every aspect of life. But when it's time to end, when something has died, it'll be like, think about a body that is no longer living and breathing has to be pulled and forced and pushed, to do everything. they can't help you at all. They cannot put in their part. You know what I mean? They are not capable of, they're not capable of putting their energy into it. They're not capable of putting their part of life into it because it's dead. They're gone. That life that is no longer there. So when things get to a point of, and now there's a difference between something that is dying or something that is just low energy or whatever, and things that are completely gone. And that's where discernment comes in. You know, that's where you, because if you think about like the medical field, sometimes there's enough life to do CPR and pump their life back into it if there is. But at the end of the day, the other part of the body still has to have some kind of, you know, energy left to do that, so it can keep working on its own. But if it's just where it's just like there's only one, you know what I'm saying, the all of the pushing and all of the, you know, all of the attempts in the world is not working, then it's just time, and it's time to call it. And then what we do is we admire and we acknowledge and we think about and remember all of the time, because there was never time wasted. There's always lessons to learn. You know what I mean? There's always lessons to learn. There's always, like, everything that happened during that time frame had its purpose, whether it was to show you something about yourself, brush yourself up on some skills that you may not have known that you had. When it comes to relationships, maybe if knowing, you know, so that you can see what being loved is supposed to be like, or maybe what it's not supposed to be like. You know, all of these different things. If it's a business, if, you know, like I said, gaining some skills and letting you know that, hey, this is something that you can actually do if you put the, you know what I'm saying? Some things that, like, when it's time to go, it's time to go. But whatever the case may be, there's always a lesson there. So it's never time wasted. There's never time wasted. I'm going to go to a quick break, and then we will be right back.
Are you interested in continuing your education, certificate, or degree that will prepare you for ministry and equip you in the marketplace? Come make Christ Central International University your home by registering to become a certified Christian published author, Christian life and career coach, chaplain, and get your bachelor's, master's, PhD degree. Visit us at www.myccu.online.
Have you ever wanted to host your own inspirational radio show? Have you been called to inspire and spread God's word? Please contact Alicia Rain for more info.
All right. We are back. So, I kind of want to wrap it up. I want to wrap this up. So basically that is really all there is to say about when time. And, you know, sometimes and this is why it's so important to be led by God. There is a scripture in Proverbs 3 verses 5 and 6. And that is, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he'll direct your paths. So basically, in a nutshell, what that is saying is go to God when it comes to everything, every and anything. Get his opinion and approval first, and direction from him first. Trust that he loves you enough to not, you know, that to know that he's going to steer you, not just you, but us. I'm always talking to me too. That he will steer us in the right direction of where we're going to go. And he'll give you those cues. He'll let you know when it's time to continue. He'll let you know when it's time to keep going. He'll let you know when it's time to hold on for a minute. He'll let you know when it's time to take a break. He'll let you know when it's time to end. So with that being said, I wanted to inform everyone that today's episode will be the last of Speaking Plain English. There are some things that like I'm gonna put it this way. Everything that has transpired, everything that has happened during this show, everything that I have learned, everything that all of the people that I have interviewed, all of those that I have met, all of the discussions that we've discussed have been all wonderful. And I'm working on some things, and I am, like I've been saying for a long time, that I am working on doing things that are, that have something to do with my purpose. And I have recognized that let me just say this. The mission is still the same. The mission is still the same. I still will be at some point coming back to do the same thing that I've been doing, promoting Black authors, artists, and business owners, as well as discussing, topics of taboo and finding solutions. I will still be doing that at some point. When, I'm not sure yet. And what the name will be then, I'm not sure yet either. But I do know that I am going to be dropping the name, Speaking Plain English, or at least I'm closing out. I'll put it like that, Speaking Plain English. I don't know if I want to share this. Maybe I should. The name means something to me. The name is significant to me. I may have mentioned it in another episode. If I did, then y'all gonna have to go find it. But it's significant in a way that I think I have, I don't want to say held on to it for too long, but I'm learning to let go. And not to say that anything will be forgotten, not to say that, or anything of that sort, but what I know is always going to be what I know. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do things differently when I do move on to the, transitions on to the next, but I can't hold on to this. So yeah, at this time, what I want to do is I just want to thank everybody who has been a part of Speaking Plain English. Anyone who has ever listened to every episode. The episodes will still be up, so you can still go back, because again, those were still amazing episodes, and I still want them to be accessible, to people so that they can see still, and also to have, you know what I mean? But Speaking Plain English I've come to the end of this era, and I'm proud. I'm very, very proud, and of myself. I'll put it like that. I'm very proud of myself for these 4 years. I'm grateful for all who have encouraged me to start it. I'm grateful for what I've learned about myself, what I've learned about others. I'm grateful for those who have ever supported me, all of the viewership. I'm grateful to Praise FM for wanting to take it on. I'm just grateful for this time. And as it is kind of, it's difficult because although, and I say this and I mean it, like I'm being in the forefront of a camera and talking to an audience and things like that is not something that I'm very comfortable with. But I've grown to understand that my voice and the things that I do have to say and doing what I do is important. And this show has helped me to grow. It's helped me to grow. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that. And like I said, just because this is the end of this era does not mean it's the end. Like, it's not the end of me. Like I said, I'm coming back. I'm eventually, I don't know when, but I'm working on like, okay, what's next? And what's next is going to be what's supposed to be. I'm going to say this. I actually wrote it down intentionally because I wanted to say it, to share it. So while I was watching the Avengers, and this is what I meant earlier, while watching the Avengers, well, it's not even the end of the movie. We still haven't finished it. But one of the parts in it, one of the things that was said was everything is going to work out exactly the way it's supposed to. And that's something that I say often. And I believe that. I believe that with every piece of every fiber of my being. I believe that everything is going to work out the way it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, how it's supposed to. And y'all may not see much of me here like this, but again, I'm not gone. I'm not gone. There's going to be other things that I'm still working on. There's going to be other ventures. So although this is a goodbye to this, it's not a goodbye. It's a chapter closed, and it is an era closed because it's ran its course. It served its purpose under this name and under this platform. What's coming next is not, again, it's not going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be, it's going to have the same, again, the mission doesn't change. The mission doesn't change. The name just does. The mission doesn't change. The name does, though. And that'll represent other things. That will bring other opportunities, and that'll bring, I'm just looking forward to what's next. I'll put it like that. I'm looking forward to greatness. I'm looking forward to expansion. I'm looking forward to learning more and growing more. And again, I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for this space. And that is all, guys. So this has been another and the final episode of Speaking Plain English. I love you all. As I guess Tony Stark said, I love you 3000. Until the next venture. Bye.